I'm not sure if I see correct. Where are you girls? At home already? In the train. Okay. I hope you'll have enough internet to hear us and to understand what's going on. Daniela, how are you? Very good. Baruch Hashem. How is it to be in Osnabrück? Okay, good. So we'll wait 2 more minutes and then we will start, if that's okay for you, to wait 2 more minutes if someone will join us, and then we will start, okay? Vika, you need to go to sleep. Okay, so let's start. If you have questions or anything, stop me in the middle. I'm going to talk and we'll have a short break for your discussion in the middle. So, this week we actually read 2 parashot. We have Matot and Mas'eh, which are both of ours, so we read them together. And in this, in the first parasha, which is called Matot, we start the parasha with vows. Do you know what I mean when I'm talking about vow? I mean, for example, a person takes a decision, he takes it very seriously. We call it in Hebrew neder, which means you say, I'm taking a vow on myself that I will do this and this. It's not saying something. Usually when we're saying neder or vow, we're talking about more serious decisions that we take on ours. We won't break it. And what's very interesting in this week's parasha is the way that it's starting to talk about this topic of neder. It's very interesting because we are already used to get different kind of mitzvot, and it's like something which is very, we received the Torah already. Hashem told us what He wants from us to do, and it's something we say, okay, of course Hashem tells us what we should do. He gives us mitzvot. He tells us what's good, what is bad, and according to this, we know how we should behave. Because of course Hashem knows, God knows what's good and what's wrong. But when we take a vow, I would say it's more complicated when we take decisions, because sometimes we don't know if we're taking the right decisions. Sometimes I'm just a person, and you know, we think I'm human. I have my own thoughts, which coming from a human, not God. How I'm supposed to know if my decisions are right or wrong? Sometimes they are good, and sometimes not that much. And I'm going to share with you now that we have for today. I'll try to show it to you in a better way. See it? Yeah? Okay, so I brought here at the beginning the pasuk of the parasha, who's talking about how Hashem looks at the vows that a person takes on himself. So I'm going to read it in Hebrew and then in English. Hope you can follow me. So, וידבר משה אל ראשי המטות לבני ישראל לאמור. זה הדבר אשר ציווה השם. איש כי ידור נדר או יישבע שבועה, לאסור איסר על נפשו, לא יחל דברו בכל היוצא מפיו יעשה. And now I'm reading the English. Moses spoke of the tribes of the children of Israel, saying, "This is the thing the Lord has commanded. If a man makes a vow to the Lord or makes an oath to prohibit himself, he shall not violate his word. According to whatever came out of his mouth, he shall do." So we see here that in the Parsha, what we say, the vow that we're taking is very, very serious, and we can't just break it. And he used here the word lo yachel dvaro. In Hebrew, yachel is coming from the word chol, lechalel, which means to make something unholy. And this also looks at it. When Rashi explains this sentence, he's saying, he shall not violate his word, he shall not profane his word, he shall not treat his words as being. So what we understand from here is that Torah is telling us, if you take a vow or if you swear on something, then you cannot holy. What you said became holy. And you can't just go and treat it like it's not. It's becoming like a mitzvah for you. And you can't just break it. You can't make it. And I would say it's weird. It's a question, because as we said, we're not God. God can come and tell us, yes, I want you to do this, or I want you to do that, because he knows what's good or what's wrong. And from the other hand side, with a decision, sometimes just like that with our human mind, and every decision that I'm taking or taking on myself becomes holy. For example, I have serious back pain. So I woke up this morning and I said, that's it. I'm taking a vow. I have a decision from this day. I'm going to do yoga 10 minutes every morning. So it's yoga 10 minutes every morning. Is it a vow? Like from now on, I can't break it. It's holy. We can take so stupid. I don't know if this is a decision. Maybe it's a very smart decision, but we can take those decision who doesn't seem like have a deep meaning, and according to the Torah, we cannot break them now. It's only decision. So the question is, why everything that I'm saying is so holy? We're just human beings. Why every sentence out of my mouth and every decision becomes so holy? And I want to make this question even a bit more complicated. Usually, is taking a vow, he's usually saying it by words. He's not saying, okay, from now on, this is how we used to think about it. He's not saying, from now on, I'll do yoga 10 minutes every day. He's taking a serious vow on himself, or for example, he's saying, I'm swearing that I will never do this thing again. We usually think that if we use this word of I'm swearing or I'm taking or something like this, it on ourselves. And our rabbis, they have in the Gemara, they have a specific masechet talking only about those kinds of oath, nedarim. Nedarim is a plural word for neder. And they put a lot of attention to each word that the person take out of his mouth. And I brought in Bavli Nedarim, I brought you a sentence from the Gemara, and again I'll read in Hebrew and then in English. ואמר הגמרא, אומר אשכים ואשנה פרק זה, אשנה מסכת הזו, נדר גדול נדר לאלוהי ישראל. And now in English, and Rav Gid, that Rav said, one who says, I will rise early and study this chapter, or I will study this tractate, has taken a grudge to the God of Israel. Okay? Now pay attention. He didn't say, I'm swearing I'm going to do it. He didn't say any word saying, this is something from now on, I'm taking a vow. But still, for the rabbis, that's it. You said a sentence, now you are committed to it. It makes those words. And again, this is the same question. Why is it so important? Why it has such a deep meaning? And we can't break it anymore. We just read at the beginning that in the Torah it's written, you took a vow, that's it, you can't break it. And here they say, even if you just said a sentence without even thinking that it would be a vow, it is. That's it, you're committed. And one thing, before I want to hear what you think about this question, I want to talk with you a bit about Yom Kippur. Because when we come to the synagogue in Yom Kippur, usually, let's say a person who never goes to the synagogue the only time he comes to the synagogue is in Yom Kippur. And he's coming in Yom Kippur, and what mainly, I think, giving him impression is not like what he's reading in the Siddur. Mainly is the atmosphere. So a person comes and you see all the people around, and you have this holiness atmosphere in the room. And then at the beginning of the prayer, in the evening of Yom Kippur, the first prayer that we're saying, so two people coming and taking the Torah scroll from the ark, and they're standing next to the Chazan, to the cantor, and then is supposed to open his mouth, and he starts saying words that even if you know Hebrew, you don't completely understand them, because they're in Aramaic. And I would say, most of the people feel, wow, this moment, this Yom Kippur start is so deep and so meaningful and so spiritual. And how would you imagine that the prayer of Yom Kippur will start? With what? I brought you the text. Let's see what's written here. So, Kol Nidrei, Yom Kippur prayer. And again, first prayers that we're saying. I will read it in, it's not even Hebrew, it's Aramaic, just so you will hear how the words are, how does it sound. So this is how it goes. Kol nidrei ve'esarei u'shvu niduyei ve'chamramei ve'konamei ve'konachei ve'konasei nedarna v'di ishtabana v'di nadina v'di charamna v'di esarana. Okay, all of this is Aramaic, it's not Hebrew. מיום כיפורים שעבר עד יום הכיפורים הזה שבא עלינו לשלום. נדרנה לה נדרי, ושבוענה ונדוינה לא נדויי, וחרמנה לא חרמי, ואסרנה לא אסרי. So this is the part in Aramaic that we start Yom Kippur with. And now the English translation, and let's try to understand what's so touching and important to start this prayer with. All vows we are likely to make, all oaths as we are likely to take between this Yom Kippur and the next Yom Kippur, we publicly renounce. Let them all be relinquished, null and void, neither firm nor established. Let our vows, pledges, and oaths be considered neither vows nor pledges. And this is how we start Yom Kippur. You would have expected, I don't know what, to say, Hashem, forgive us for all the sins or that I was in the last year. Or each person, I guess, can think about what would be the most touching thing or to say, Hashem, you're so great, come and forgive us. Start Yom Kippur with this. It even sounds in a way like a lawyer declaration, like something very formal. So all those words let's delete them. And I want to ask you, why do you think this is how we start Yom Kippur, with counting all of our oath? And why is this neder, this vow that we're taking for ourselves, what is his place in our life? Why the Torah gives it holy and important place? So, girls, please.
I think, can you hear me? Yes? Good. I think one should be very careful what he or she is saying. So I think they're emphasizing on this neder so much that we are thinking about like how we phrase something and how we say it and how we actually mean it. Because we might say, yes, we're gonna do it, but actually in our mind we will never do it. And yeah, I think it shows that we have to think about what we're saying. And why we're starting Yom Kippur with this, maybe to remember, just like it's a remember that this is something that we're doing every day, not only, it's not special on Yom Kippur, it's every day, and that's why we should remember from the start of Yom Kippur.
Okay. Anyone else have an idea why the oath is so important? Is it only to motivate to do things really, or anything else?
In the text which you showed us, there was also written that it's important that the woe is nullified, or I mean the woes which we haven't done. And I think this is also a very important basis to start something new and to go ahead, because if there's still something that we haven't done and that we wanted to do, maybe this can influence us negatively, and by nullifying them, we have a new basis, like a new start, to start something new.
So it's like reminding us the things that we decided and we didn't do yet, and then to be more motivated to it as time.
Can you say that again? Because I didn't hear what you said.
Yes, sure, I'll try. So like you're saying, it's like to remind us all the things that we wanted to do and we didn't, and then hopefully this year we'll have like a fresh living again, but this time for. You're not. So I hope could you correct now? Okay.
Rotem, we don't really understand you.
You hear me better now?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm sorry for the internet problem thing every time. I hope it's become unless someone else share something. So I think what both of you said is very much connected to the same ideas that we'll try to read today. But okay, very good. But now what I want us to do is to try to understand this whole thing, perspective through an idea of Rav Kook. I didn't brought the text of Rav Kook here because it's very, very complicated, and no way I was able to translate it. But I brought many, many texts who are connected to his idea, and we'll try to understand it together. So he's asking us, why do we actually need to listen to what the Torah tells us? Not the Torah, sorry, what people tell us. Because when we say that we know that it's like a mitzvah, it's actually to listen to ourselves, not to listen to God, but to listen to human beings. And he's saying, since when the Torah is telling us to human beings? And he bring us the source. It's in the Dvarim. I brought it here. Kids, in the Torah actually tells you have to obey what the rabbis and the Talmidei Chachamim, the wise people who learn Torah, tells you to do. So this is what's written in Dvarim. על פי התורה אשר יורוך, ועל המשפט אשר יאמרו לך, תעשה. לא תסור מן הדבר אשר יגידו לך ושמאל. In English, according to the law they instruct you, and according to the judgment that they say to you, you shall do. You shall revert from the word they tell you, either right or left. So the Torah itself tells us that if a rabbi or Talmid Chacham tells us something to do, we should obey. We shouldn't move not even a little bit to any direction. And again, I can understand if the Torah tells me what's fine. And it's also fine if the rabbis are explaining or interpreting what they received in Sinai. But why do we need this rabbi if he's just telling us something to do, which is not connected directly to Torah? Again, it sounds, I'm giving an extreme, the rabbi will tell me, you need to do 10 minutes yoga every morning. Why should I obey him? Where did he find it in the Torah, let's say? So why listen to those rabbis? I would say what Rav Kook is saying is that those rabbis have this, there is this, that when you go to a trip and you need to navigate, he shows you where the north is. Yes? So they have it in a way in the world, and they know to life to the direction of what Hashem wants us to do in the world. They have this thing in themselves. And this is how they know how to bring all the big ideas of Hashem into our life here in this world. And they're very, for them to be very specific on which way we need to do things to be more connected and to be more connected to Hashem inside our life. And to this force that they have, we have to, they know better, they see better than us, we need to listen to them. And I brought here an idea which is very, very beautiful from Mesilat Yesharim, and he gives us an example here, metaphor for how they look at the world and how the simple people look at the world. And this is what is written in Mesilat Yesharim. I'll jump straight to the English to make it easier now. So, we're at the end of the first page. To what is this analog? To a labyrinth. This is a garden for amusement, commonly known to noblemen. The hedges of plants are arranged into many intricate walls, among and confusing and interlacing ways, all of which appear similar. So he's talking about labyrinth. In the garden of the castles, when you go and you see only the plants around you, and you don't know if you're going the right way or the wrong way. You can take a path to go to the right way and one path to go to the wrong way. Everything. The goal is to reach the lookout tower in the midst of the maze. But among these pathways, some of them truly lead one to the tower, while others deceive him, leading him to stray away from it. One who walks between is not capable of saying or if he is walking along a correct path or a deceptive one. For each one appears similar. You hear me good now? Yes? For each one appears similar. There is no noticeable difference whatsoever to the eye. Okay? So you're walking in this labyrinth, and you can't know if you're going the right way or not. One standing on the lookout tower, on the other hand, can see all of the pathways before him and discern between the true and false ones. He is in a position to warn those walking in them, and this is a path to take. He that is willing to believe him will reach the designated place, but he who is not believe him, but would rather follow his own eyes, will certainly remain lost and fail to reach it. So what Aram got here, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto in Mesilat Yesharim, he's saying this is exactly how our life looks like. We go in the way, we don't know what's right or what's wrong. But the rabbi was like, he's looking from up, he's staying in the middle of the maze, he can see where are you going and if your way will be blocked or not. So this is how he can show you what is wrong. Okay? So according to this idea, this is why we need to listen to the rabbis, because they can see better than us the way to lead our life closer to Hashem. But what's interesting, what Rav Kook wants to tell us, is that we are not Hashem doesn't tell us that we need to listen only to the rabbis or to the Talmidei Chachamim who learned lots of Torah. But he tells us you should also listen to the Talmid Chacham that you have. According to Rav Kook, in each one of us, there is a small Talmid Chacham. There is a small rabbi, and you can call it like a point of truth inside of you. And this point, it's like this, you know very, very well. You have this specific knowledge, what's right and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And the problem is that many times what leads us in our life is not this point or this Talmid Chacham, but us when we take decisions is the desires that we have, our evil inclination, when we're angry about things. So we're letting things to lead us. And this is why we're we're taken by those things. But it doesn't mean that this Talmid Chacham is not exist, and it doesn't mean that this point of truth is not there. And it doesn't matter how we look like, which way of life we chose, how we dressed, if we keep Shabbat, we can be in a completely different way from a real Talmid Chacham, but we still have our own Talmid Chacham inside of us, who's telling us if we did it right or wrong. So, I brought here a pasuk from Megillat Esther, from the book of Esther, when in chapter Mordechai, Haman, Achashverosh, making him to be a very influenceable person, and everyone has to bow in front of him. And Mordechai decided not to do it, and at a certain point, Haman hears that Mordechai is not willing to bow in front of him. And what we would have expected is if there is one person who is not willing to listen to Haman or to the king, so Haman was this person, right? But Haman, he sees very well that all of Am Yisrael could be problematic in the same way as Mordechai, even if they are not rabbis, and even if they are not those wise people. So I brought you the pasuk here, again in Hebrew and English, I'm sorry. So this is how it goes. וירץ בעיניו לשלוח יד במרדכי לבדו, כי הגידו לו את עם מרדכי. ויבקש המן להשמיד את כל היהודים אשר בכל מלכות אחשוורוש עם מרדכי. In English, but it seemed contemptible to him to lay hands on Mordechai alone, for they had told him Mordechai's nationality, and Haman sought to destroy all the Jews who were throughout Achashverosh's entire kingdom, Mordechai's people. So the English translation is a bit different, but in Hebrew he's saying twice, Am Mordechai, Mordechai's people. This is how he called them, twice. And he understands that, again, even if they, at the time of Achashverosh, there were many Jews who were very far away from living Jewish life, this life. They were not very close to how Mordechai was. But Haman understood that in all of them, there is still small Mordechai. This is why he called them Am Mordechai. They are all like him, even if you don't see it from the outside. All of them have the potential to do exactly what Mordechai did, because they all have the same point that can tell them what's right and what's wrong. So if it says that in each one of us have this Talmid Chacham, and the Torah tells us, actually, you shouldn't listen only to look like a Talmid Chacham, like a rabbi from the outside. You should also listen to yourself. You should listen to your truth. You should listen to this point. And the question is, how are we supposed to know if right now this is the right point or the truth point, or maybe it's our desires or something who's like the right thing, but it's actually fake? How are we supposed to know that this is the right thing? And the Rambam in Moreno which is, I don't know how to translate it. It's something like a guide to the people who are embarrassed or confused. I don't know how to translate it, sorry. He bring us
the guide to perplex.
Yes, thank you. So he is explaining us what's O or though in his eyes. What is neder? So he is saying, imagine a person that's going in the Wald in German, forest. And it's night and he can't see anything. He went lost in the forest. It's a very, very dark night. He doesn't have light. How he's supposed to know he's lost, right? He's in a big problem. But then suddenly he have a big luck, and suddenly there is like this storm of lightning in the sky, and he has those lightning who's giving him light to see everything around him. And he is capable to see at this point when he's standing on this crossroads in the middle of the forest and he don't know where to go. Thanks to the lightning, he can see which way will bring him directly to home to get out of the forest to the civilization. And now the question is what the person will do when the flashlight, when the lightning is over and he can't see anymore, okay? Because the lightning is not for all of the night until he gets out of the forest. He's standing there, he had feel lightning, and before he starts walking, there is darkness again. And according to the Rambam, Maimonides, there are different kinds of people with different ways to behave in this situation. So I would say there is a person that after he had this light, the moment that he had the darkness again, he would say, I was imagining, how can I know if this was, if I saw really the right way, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I should take another. He will stay in the doubt because it's not clear to him if he really saw something. There is someone who saw, but he's not sure of the right or the left, so he will stay at the same place. And there is some person that even if he have a doubt, even if he's not sure, he will remember when the lightning show him the way, and he will go there, okay? Because he will always remember where was this big light coming. And this is the moment that we know what the right true point inside of us. The moment when we have the lightning, we know this is the moment in our life when we know where we need to go, when we know what the real truth is. And each one of us in his life have those moments. So I want us to read Maimonides together and to see how we take it like more practically into our life. I'm reading the English at Moreh Nevochim. At times, the truth shines so brilliantly that we perceive it as day. Our nature and habit then draw a well over our perceptions, and we return to a darkness almost as dense as before. Those who, through beholding frequent flashes and lightning, still find themselves in the thickest darkness of the night. On some, the light is rapid succession, and they seem to be continuous light, and their night is as clear as a day. This was the degree of prophetic excellence attained by Moses, the greatest of prophets, to whom God said, "But as for thee, stand thou here by me," and for whom it is the skin of his face shone. So I'm jumping. By others, only once during the whole night is a flash perceived. This is the case with those of whom we are informed. They prophesied and did not prophesy again. There are some to whom the flashes of lightning appear with varying intervals. Others are in the condition of man, whose darkness is illuminated not by lightning, but by some kind of crystal or similar stone, or other substances that possess that property of during the night. And to them, even this small amount of light is not contagious. But now it shines, and now it's vanished, as if here the flame of the rotating sword. So what he's saying is what we described. For some, it's like it's clear to them what they saw, and they feel like they have the light. Some feel like they're always in darkness, and even like the small amount of light won't help them. But the question is, if we do see this light, what are we doing with it? Usually, I would say, sometimes we see this light and now I'm taking the oath. Now I know what's true and I need to take on myself. And the problem is that many times, the lightning is going slowly down. We saw the light, we know what we need to do, we took the oath, and then it's slowly disappearing in our minds. And then we are again in darkness, we have the doubts, we're not sure again. And the question is, are we willing to go after the light in ourselves? This is how Hashem will check us. When I'm completely honest with myself, I saw this light, do I doubt it? I'm going with it. I would give you an example. I hope you didn't have this experience, but if you manage to go and visit a family member who is in the, how do you say it in English? In the cardio department, in the heart department, usually after you come to visit the person there who had the heart surgery, you tell yourself, that's it, from now on, I'm starting to eat healthy, I'm starting to do sport, every evening I'm going to run outside from this point, and you're very excited because you saw what can happen to it anymore, and you understand that it can be very risky, so it's clear to you what you need to do from now on. So you're so excited the sports shop, and you buy all the equipment, and you put lots of money, and you buy healthy food. And then you start running and you run the first time and you don't understand you until this point. Like, why didn't I start running before? It's so amazing and so important. And you're calling all your friends, telling them you must start running. I would say it's a bit like sometimes people who do tshuva feels like they saw the light and they need to tell it to all the other people around them that they have to do this. They're so excited about it. And then you do it for a week and you're running every day and you do sport. And then, like we have very often in training. So here you're, how much you're so sure about it, it starts to go a bit down maybe. Even though that you were so sure and you know this is the right thing, the clarity starts to disappear slowly. Because then the week after, you're very tired, a very difficult week at work, and then slowly you start to convince yourself that it was a big mistake, this whole idea, you know, to run in the winter, let's say it's winter, to run in the winter at 10 o'clock at night, it's very risky, you know, you can have an accident very easily. The smoke that you have in the street from all the cars, it's not healthy. So if I should run, I should do it outside at the sea where it's healthy. And it's very hard to get there. So you start telling yourself that maybe it was a mistake, maybe you should do it in the summer. And very often this is how we live with those oaths or vows that we take on ourselves. Because we're so convinced at the beginning that this is the right thing. But as the times fly, we slowly were not that sure anymore. And until we had that moment that our Talmid Chacham, our Rebbe inside of us, tells us exactly what we need to do. After a while, we like, it's covered by the other things, and we forget. And what the Torah is telling us in this parasha, know how you treat your own words. Because what you're saying is holy. It's not less than what Hashem is saying to the Torah. Maybe you can even higher, because this is actually Hashem talking from you, from inside of you. It's not something that you read when the Torah is outside of you. It's something that comes from your inside. So you shouldn't be disrespectful to this holiness who came from you. You should be very specific with it, to understand what it means and to honor it. And see how you are able to keep going with this truth that you found in yourself, and not to slowly push it away. And I don't know, I can say about not just about sport and running. This is not the things, but for example, if we're talking about this period of the year, we're now in the 17 of Tammuz to Tisha B'Av. And for me, myself, usually when we're getting to this point of Tisha B'Av, I start thinking, oh, Yom Kippur is very, very close. And last Yom Kippur, I felt so bad about myself, about all the things I haven't done this year. And I told myself, this year I'll be better. And slowly, I was so serious at the first month and even at the second, but slowly, things are coming back to be exactly the same as they were. So the question is how to fight this and to keep stick to those things. And this is what the Torah demands from us. This is what we're saying is so important, because at that moment when we said it, this light came in us. This holiness came from us outside, and we need to find a way to stick to it. And when we're standing in front of the Torah, there are so many mitzvot. It's very, very difficult. And Rav Kook is saying, it's clear that there are so many mitzvot because we are so different people. There are so many of us. And each mitzvah fits to a person. And you also have your own mitzvah. You also have your own thing. And when you have, again, this in you, is when you find your own thing. And this way this is your mitzvah, and you need to stick to it. And this way this is so holy. And every day we're saying in the Shmoneh in Amidah, we have there 18 different blessings that we are saying, and one of them we're saying, Hashiva shoftenu kevarino, veyoatzenu kevatchila, vehaser mimenu yagon ve'anacha, which means you should bring our judges again, and the people's advices as it used to be. And you should remove from us every sorrow and sadness. And about it, that those judges or those advisors are exactly the same character things that we talked about this before. They tells us what is the right way to go. So we're praying to Hashem to show us this rabbi inside of us and to reveal it to us more often. And then the conclusion will be that the sadness and the sorrow will go away, because I would say we suffer the most when we're missing our own way, our own path should go. When we're going in a path who's not the right thing for us, we will usually suffer. So we're praying to Hashem to show us this advisor inside of us. And then we will be more happy because we'll know what's the right thing for us to do and which way to go. And this is why moment of the vow, we can't let it go. Because when we found it, we found our way. And this is why we open Yom Kippur with this prayer of Kol Nidre said at the beginning. This is so technical. Yeah, we apologize for saying that I'll do this and I didn't do it. This is the way to open Yom Kippur. But when we're moment before we're standing in front of Hashem and apologizing for all the things that Hashem told you in the Torah that you should do and you didn't, you have this moment to say, I had my moment, I had my clarity for a second, and I knew what I'm supposed to do. What I'm Mir Hadassah or I'm Daniela, I had this moment and I let it go. I forgot it. It's more than just saying, I apologize for all the mitzvot I didn't do. But I'm sorry in this state that I didn't listen to my inner voice that was so clear to me, and I forgot it. And when I was inside and I had the lightning, instead of walking to the way I saw is the right way, I was staying at the same darkness, at the same place. And this is our challenge that we learn from the Parsha, to light the specific fire, and it's like a torch after it. And I must say it's a huge challenge, and I can't say how to stick to it. It's very, very hard. It's a very, we say in Hebrew, avodah sizifit, like Sisyphus, you know what I mean? It's very, very hard to slide, and I must say I'm struggling with it as well. But we need to remember that this is mitzvah like all the others, and even bigger. And I wish us all luck. Maybe before Yom Kippur is coming, we can remember what was our nedarim, the vows that we took on ourselves, and to go back to them before Yom Kippur is coming. And yeah, that was my thing to say for you. Anyone have comments to say, something to ask or to add?
Thank you, Rotem. I think this was like one of my favorite shiurim which you gave, because like you really spoke to me, and this is like something I so have to work on. And I never heard it like with all the sources in this context. It was like really, and now I had this moment of light.
Thank you very much. And thank you. I just want to say that week is our last meeting for this summer, because the week after is already Tisha B'Av, and then we have a vacation. So we won't have girls learning until September, I guess. Sorry, but I hope you can join next week, and yeah, in September we'll go back to normal, Bezrat Hashem. Thank you for joining me and learning, and hope to see you next week. And Laila Tov.
Thank you, Rotem.
You're welcome. Bye bye.